Hello, Awifians. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to you all, wherever you may be in the world. I hope you're well. I hope you are having a great day. It's hot here. So if you hear the fan or the air condition wherever you are, please understand. And I think it's hot for you as well. Come join me, share this live stream with your family and friends. This is a topic that we women do not get to talk about. We are talking of the African women's mindset and how we can revamp everything towards our financial freedom. Today, I have a star with us. I have an amazing lady. She has been so supportive of this community, and I couldn't go on or end the summer season without speaking to her. Today, we are going to be talking about something that we Africans think we do not have, or we do not really explore how this is holding us back. If this is the very first time you're watching me live, my name is Lilian Mole. I am the founder and CEO of the African Women's Economic and Entrepreneurship Forum, the place where we challenge the status quo for economic advancement of African women. Share this live stream with your family and friends, and we'll be right back. So as I said, I was not alone today. Today we are going to be having an amazing lady from the US. Hello, how are you?
Hi, Lilian. I'm very good. Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
It's such a pleasure to have you. I couldn't end this summer season without talking to you because you've been so supportive of this platform. And I think you have a message to share. You have something that we all shy away from. But before we dive into the conversation, I would like to know what the COVID situation is where you are right now. And please, where are you exactly?
Thank you, Lilian. And thanks to everyone that's joining. Thanks for having me, Lilian. Truthfully, if I'll be honest, sometime in June, thereabout, I kind of stopped following the news. But when it started, I was really following the news, and we had the numbers rising from New York, and I'm in Alexandria, Virginia, by the way. So somehow, when we call you DMV, that's Virginia, Maryland, and Washington D.C. Like the three states are kind of close by.
Yeah.
So the numbers were really rising, and then later it kind of got stable. Right now we are in the phase where there's been a lockdown. We were all working from home and all that, and now they're trying to consider if students should go back to school in fall. My husband got an email this morning saying that the resumption should have been October, but they've told them, resumption is going back to office is like 2021. So we said, okay, fine. So right now, California, Texas, I think, Florida, those are the places that really are the hotspots right now. But we just hope for the better and keep praying.
Yeah. And honestly, I think many people are taking this for a joke. Some people think it can happen to you until it gets one of your friends, your family member. Then you're like, oh my God. So this thing is for real. Yes, it is for real.
Yeah, I was in the programs department doing activities with seniors. So when that was before I gave it, and I left the work, and I had to call my colleagues to know what's happening in the communities, the senior communities, and my last place of work, they were like, oh, we lost a lot of residents and we lost the nurse. I'm like, oh my God. And they were calling the names of the residents. I'm like, oh, he died. These are people I worked with. These are people I had fun with. I'm like, oh my God. So this disease is crazy. People really need to take it serious, like seriously.
Just Exactly. And at first we also thought it's maybe the older people, but now we are seeing even kids having it. So This is no joke, people. This is no joke. So again, thank you so much for accepting my invitation. You have a powerful message. I know I keep saying this, but Africa is such a big continent with such a pool of talent that we do not talk about. So yes, you have an amazing message. But before we dive into that message, again, please help me introduce yourself to this audience.
Okay, everyone. So my name is Adaobi Ezeadum, a Nigerian born. I was born in the northern part of Nigeria, and we moved to the US barely 3.5 years ago. So, professional calling, I'm an attorney called to the Nigerian bar, and then trying to also get myself into the American bar, New York to be precise. And overall, right now I'm into recruitment, consulting, and still trying to wade the waters and all that. But ordinarily, I had an experience that made me get into coaching and then becoming a fresh strategist. So right now, what you just need to know is Adobe. She's a licensed attorney from Nigeria and also a mental coach.
So, what part of Nigeria did you come from?
The eastern
Something
part
is
of
going to happen.
Nigeria, eastern part of
Where?
Nigeria, and the eastern part, Anambra.
Okay, I thought I had the north because I studied in the north of
Yeah,
Nigeria.
I
I
was born
studied.
in Jos. I was born
There
in
you go.
the northern part. Yeah.
I studied at Ahmadu Bello University.
Zaria. Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
I think I never
bring
went to
it
Zaria. I
out.
traveled so well in Nigeria. I went to Unimate Meduguri. Yeah, Bello. Oh yeah. Wow, that's good. How did you find our university? I know Zaria is
Mass
wonderful.
communication. Yeah, mass com. Yeah, we were the strikers of mass com.
My younger sister is a mass communicator too. Wow, that's good.
You
She
see?
also does talk shows and all. You guys, yeah, is in your blood.
We should connect. We should connect,
Yeah, I'll
definitely. We
still
should.
connect you to her, definitely.
We
She's talking about a lot of
should.
different things right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So getting back to the discussion, it's a topic that we don't explore in Africa. And before we continue, I would like to share with you, and let me know if it resonates with you and in what way. The quote of the day, which states, "The key to change is to let go of fear." Does this resonate with you?
Absolutely, like 101%. Yeah. Like I talk to people every day. Don't let fear win. That's my mantra right now. Don't let fear win, you know.
And it's timely because right now there is fear.
Yeah.
There is fear.
Yeah.
Let me get a comment here. Oh, all the way from South Africa. Hello, ladies. South Africa. Yeah, Ella. Amazing sister as well. Yes, 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 it does. Exactly.
Yeah, the
Exactly.
code.
Mhm. So it could resonate with her. Please share this live stream. Please, please, please. We need people to come hear this discussion today. It's going to be short, sweet, and I hope that we can continue as a panel on this topic. Ada, the
Yeah.
word Ada, I know a friend who has a daughter who is called Ada, and the dad always adore her and say, Ada, my God, or my princess. Or so when I saw
Yeah.
your name, I'm like,
Yeah. And like almost every first female is called Ada in my tribe. Like, or every daughter actually, but like Ada is mostly like for the girls. And if you're the first daughter, you're called Ada. But even if you're not, a girl is an Ada, right? So, but for me, it's
okay.
like the first daughter, in the first man's house, something like that, like first daughter of a prince, first daughter of a dad, whatever.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. We African women are born strong. We are resilient and we are resourceful. So fear is not something we often explore. What adversity led you to becoming a fear strategist?
Okay, thank you so much, Lillian. Yeah, this question is really timely too, and is a discussion that should be had. Truly, African women are born strong, like resourceful, resilient. I don't even know the adjective, the verb, the action words used to describe the average African woman in total. But I know the average African woman is whole and a total woman. But one thing about I've noticed too is that they shortchange themselves when they haven't awakened themselves, right? So what led me to become a fair strategist and what did I actually go through? Coming to the US, that was 3.5 years ago. And I really wanted to get back into the legal field. I started preparing for the exam, but somehow I said, okay, let me not do this right now. I'm pregnant. Let me have my baby, and then maybe when my mom comes to help me, I'll continue. Yeah, so she did come and I enrolled to study for the exam when my baby was like 12 days old. But then, Nigeria and our ways, I was waiting for my transcripts to come, to get to New York, and then they were approved and then certified me fit to sit for the New York bar exam. But it didn't come on time. So instead of preparing for the exam when my mom was here, I kind of moved it. I said, okay, fine, since they haven't received my transcript at all, I have to let it go until they certify me fit to take the exam. So when all this happened, my mom already stayed and left. And I still said, okay, let me start preparing for the exam. My baby was still growing. She was around 7 months old, thereabouts. So I was working. That the resourcefulness of the African woman who
Yes.
want to do everything at the same time.
Exactly.
So I was studying
Exactly.
for the exam. I was working. I was taking care of my kids. And yeah, the home front is also there. No matter how independent you're still a mom, right? So you have to cook, take care of the home front and all. So I was trying to juggle it all up, and fear started playing out. Oh my God. Like I will try to study and then stay up, study, then go to do some practice questions, like look at the past questions. Okay, this is criminal law. What have I studied? They can write an essay, write some OBJs and all that, you know. And then I will fail. Let me say I do 30 questions and I'll fail like 16, fail like 15. Like I wasn't just doing well. Now, ordinarily, I'm someone that will not mind, like, yeah, it doesn't matter. What the heck? Let me fill out. But I found that it was playing on me. Like these are some alien new laws. Like I remember when I opened the constitutional law. Oh my God, what are they talking about? I know myself to be bright. I know myself to be, that very fierce. Oh, she's intelligent, but man, I'm like, what is all these amendments I have to understand? What is commerce clause? What exactly are they talking about? Like it was so alien and strange. And then I understood they had autonomous community states, governor can do this, they have a state Supreme Court. I'm like, this is not what I'm used to. I'm used to just the whole Supreme Court in Abuja. I'm used to just, the systems were so different. So I could remember trying to tell myself, you can do this. But then I was really scared. Like, if you could feel fear, the Bible said in City of Goshen, I don't know if you're Christian, but I
I
am.
am. I am.
City of Goshen, that there was thick darkness and the people could, I said, I could feel that fear, like there was thick darkness. I could hold fear. I could open my book and I'm sensing a lot of fear. Can you do this? The self-doubt, and all those, the baby is crying, you're trying to breastfeed. It was so much. And I could feel the fear creeping in. Okay, so what happened next? I continued studying and I said, okay, fine. For me to really combat this, I just made up my mind. Go take the exam, right? As in, whether you fail or whether you pass, just go take the exam, go get the experience,
Exactly.
whatever it is.
Exactly. Exactly.
But it took me a while to get it. Like, I'll tell my husband, I don't think I can do this. No, this thing, he's like, just go. You're very bright. You will do this. Okay, now, the hallmark is that I understood firsthand that I was actually, for the first time, being afraid. Like, I went to school in Nigeria and I'll be like, I'm not that person. I'll be going for conferences and, going because I was also in the student union. So I was just living my life. And then before exam, I'm going to study and then I'm going to do well. So I wasn't that person who have actually understood how fear plays a role in your brain. Oh, like it was hideous. And so I just started studying. And what happened next? I said, okay, fine, let me just take this exam. I started talking to myself. It doesn't matter if you pass or if you fail, go get the experience. But I really wanted to pass, right? Now the story would have been beautiful and I would have said, oh yeah, and I took this when I passed. Oh no, I didn't pass. I took the exam. And the truth was, before I went to take the exam, I started understanding the power of fear. I understood how fear will paralyze me. Like I told myself, if you do not work on this, you're going to get into the hall and you'll be blank. When people say that before I even started understanding what fear was, I'd be like, how can you study and see you went blank? Like, are you kidding me? Are you sure you really studied? But no, I understood the first time that yes, you could actually study and fear plays a role in your brain. The amygdala, that lizard brain, like, okay, now this took me to start understanding how fear actually affects the brain too. So I was happy for the experience. Okay, I went to take the exam and the truth was I kind of conquered fear before going to the exam. Like, for me to even take the step, I had to let go of fear, like, go take the exam, whatever it is, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I told myself, it doesn't matter if I fail or if I pass. And I said this before. So I had to go in. I would have passed. Like, I'm taking responsibility for the fact that I failed because somehow I didn't manage my time. This was so different. Like I knew what I was doing, I knew what I was writing, but I'm still writing like the second question and the third one. I'm hearing you have 30 minutes more. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Oh my god! And the whole system is different. You have to type. Back home, I'm used to just writing my exams. Yeah, they will tell you you can write, but people are like, don't write. The minute you're writing, just type. So I chose to type, and wow, I was receiving the first question, and people are standing up submitting. This is why people can type, or people that were giving birth to here and they went to school here. You just see hearing the computer and the keyboard clapping up and down. I'm like, wow. So I was thrown off balance. And instead of letting fear play on me again because he was rearing his head again, I was like, Adobe, calm down. You got this. Like, remember, it doesn't matter if you fail or if you pass. Just enjoy the experience. So I knew I had to combat it even in the exam hall. So I kind of guilted myself, like, I didn't manage your time well. So when I go back home, I was telling my husband, man, for the first time, I felt the relief, like, wow, this exam isn't so much of a monster like I thought. Like, there was nothing that they asked me I couldn't actually answer, but truth is, I didn't manage my time. He was like, maybe you will pass. Maybe the ones you wrote are okay. I said, no, I doubt it. This one, that these people, is competitive, and I can't bank on just three and a half questions when they ask me six. Like, which kind of miracle do I want to perform? But at the end of the day, I kind of understood firsthand how I could have been paralyzed. And when I failed the exam, like when the result came out and I missed it by some points, I was not throwing a pity party for myself. Like I was like, okay, yeah, that's good. I understand what happened right here. So the next time I'm going to take the exam, it's going to be a walk in the park. I'm not going to brag about it, but I've gone in. I've made the mistake. So right now I'm coming out to blaze. Like I understand what I'm going to got this. So I'm not going to break my head over it. And no, instead no to fear. So when I came out and when the result came out, and somehow I started speaking about my experience with fear during the experience, and somehow I felt a lot of people were going through the same thing. And I'll go to my Instagram page and I'll see people trying to reach out. Wow, I'm actually going through this right now. Please, can you help me out? I'm like, okay, let me take some classes on coaching. Let me, go do some neuroscience research. I got into a lot of research and insights on how does fear affect the brain. What does this really do to you? Neuro-linguistic practitioner. I had to take a course. I had to get a certification. Like I just fell in love with understanding that something that could have broken me or maybe paralyzed me was able to launch me into a message that could let people understand that yeah, we feel fear. Fear is going to be present. Like fear is there. It's not going anywhere. It's part of your makeup. Your lizard brain, which is the amygdala, was made to actually alert you and help you. So if you are fearless, in quotes, you may die. You may go walk on the road and the car will hit you. Put your hand in the fire. Like everything in your body is programmed for your benefit. So you just have to use it well. So somehow I understood this is a message I have, and I've been able to coach. Oh my God, I can't even count. Like my calendar is full. I'm trying to help people understand why fear should not win, why fear shouldn't, paralyze you, or why fear is healthy, and how you can combat, fear.
Yeah. While you were telling your story, there were so many parts that I could recognize or I could identify myself to. But there are also so many now that we know. I think in Africa, we are being celebrated if we numb our fears. This is why very often we Africans, we cannot even tell we are afraid or not.
Right.
If the fear is not something which is really like physical and impactful, or like death, or like you are almost, or you are giving birth and they say, oh, it's getting dangerous, then you really feel the fear. But other kind of fear, we think we are not afraid because that part of it has been numbed. So when you talk of neuroscience and everything, and this brings me to the reason why I wanted you to come up here, is that it's time for us to start, rekindle that part of it that was given to us as strength, as strong, as a lion. You are a queen. You are that. It was given to us as with pride. Without knowing that, it's killing us. Because when you numb certain parts of your feelings, it comes somewhere. And you also as a person, you're not living, you're not feeling your own life, because fear is meant to be felt. Fear is meant to happen. Things will happen. But when you just go and say, oh, I will do it by God's grace, or God brought, that is a stupid thing to do. We need to sit there and really feel, oh my God, I
Yeah.
am so scared right now.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? Because that's
Yeah.
when you take better choices.
Yeah.
Point number two is, if you don't believe me, anyone watching this live stream thinking we are strong, when I asked that question, it was deliberate. When I was writing my question, when I do live streams and I prepare questions, I don't prepare for the sake of preparing. I put myself back in that room where we all came from to feel that pain or feel that joy.
Yeah.
If we take people who were born in the developed country, whose fears have not been numbed, that they are led to express themselves, to fear, to cry, to talk, if we take those people and put them in certain conditions and still take Africans and put them in that same condition, I have noticed that people from the developed world whose feelings were not meant to be, they've not been numbed,
Come.
they
Yeah.
survive, they come out better.
Yeah.
They come out better. But we Africans, we keep thinking we are strong, we are this, we are that. Yes, we have strength because we've gone through a lot. So you build this resilience, but that is not the medicine
It's not the
for
most
the fear.
healthy. Yeah.
Exactly,
Not the most
exactly.
healthy
So
way to process fear. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so I totally agree with you. Most times, like back home, people don't. Well, I think in this century, narrative is changing. People don't really want to go to therapy, counseling. Like I can deal with it. Like we are built to have that very high pain threshold. Oh, it's fine. I can handle it. Oh no, the truth is you can't bottle it up entirely. That's why when people suck into depression, most times it's so hard to bring them out. Like when I was coaching someone and trying to help with depression, are you used to talking to people? Oh no, I think I can handle it. Oh no, you cannot. Like you're not designed to go through this life just alone. I understand, that we try to not want to worry other people, but there are
yes,
people who have been paid, just pay them to worry them, right? Pay them and just worry them. They will take on the worry with you. They're going to help you process it better. I had someone who was actually suicidal, and the truth is, let me not use a particular sense, like she was really, really, really at the verge of, I'm gonna kill myself. I'm giving myself some few days to live. Like, and if nothing changes, I'm just gonna take myself. Like, what's the point? It's difficult to start trying to unravel, see you well, I took a course in positive psychology and understood that. See, when you feel your happiness is dependent on what my mom is going to say, what my dad's going to say, how my husband is going to treat me, my kids, you're actually killing yourself already. And when those expectations are not met, you're definitely going to try to alleviate the pain by maybe taking yourself out of the picture. So it was hard for me to, like, as Christians, I also had to use prayers, I had to use counseling sessions, I had to use a lot of, see, we can't, you are more than this. But they don't believe that because depression kind of
exactly,
shut down that part of the brain that helps you process better. So you're more like the pity party, the victim, the oh Lord. So it's something that I wish some, the upcoming generation we really like back home should embrace. They have every kind of coach in the US, confident coach, body shape coach. Like I'm like, they have coaches for everything. So people that are gonna help you pull through. But back home, like someone tells you, oh, my psychiatrist are like, oh, this is a mad person. Oh no, it doesn't. You don't have to be mad to go see a psychiatrist. But back home, we have that impression that he's in a psychiatrist, and they're like, oh, maybe
exactly.
the person is mad. But
Exactly. I completely agree. And also, again, this is why Africa is not progressing at the rate at which it should be, because we try to do it all. We try to do it by ourselves. We think we can do. Listen, the example is easy. I've been doing sports almost every day for a year by myself. Okay? I will come back to you because I'm just at the verge of making the point of getting a coach so I will come back one day to explain my process with a coach, because it's only with that coach that will be able to help. Some people can do it alone. You mean sometimes you have your own limit and you need a coach
yeah,
to help you move forward. We have so many
exactly.
questions, comments. Let me take the comments before they get too many. Uh,
Okay.
Eva says, did you come up with a process to deal with such fear?
Okay. So Eva, yeah. So Eva, so I think you're talking back to when I was trying to prepare for my exams, right? Yes.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
yeah. So there's something I kind of found out until I sat down, accepted that this was my situation, and tried to find a way to work through it. I
Yeah.
would have been paralyzed. So this is something I did. So if you're listening, so this is something I did. While I was preparing, because I hadn't even understood, it was almost strange to me to feel this way. Like I have never, like how in my story, um I don't pride myself to be that bright, but on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe I'm 7. I understand, oh, this is what I can do. And I've never failed an exam, like never. Even when I lost my dad in my 400 level in school, and my lecturer was so concerned, they were like, maybe you should take this semester off, because my dad was to be buried 2 weeks or 1 week before the exam and all. I'm like, you guys, I can't have a carryover. It's fine. I'm going to just stay awake with my mom in the night, study and come and take my courses. So, and they were all like, wow. And in the hall, they'll be like, are you sure you can do this? I'm like, yes, ma, it's fine. This is law. I can do this. So I have had a lot of strength to know that, see, it's just an exam. But so it was strange for me to face that fear. I didn't even want to accept that I was afraid. Like, what's my husband going to think? What are my in-laws? What are my friends? Like, but then I had to tell myself the honest truth, like, my dear, you're not above fear. Accept that this is what you're feeling right now, okay? And then work on it. Understand that once you focus, like the law of focus, whatever I focus my attention on, influences me either for the better or for the worst or for the best. So I kind of focus my attention on the fact that I can do this. Yes, Adobe, you can. And I understood the fact that it doesn't matter if I fail or if I pass. Accept they're going in there for the experience. Yeah, it's your first time. I read up people. Oh, Barack Obama's wife, Michelle, even failed it the first time. Oh, what was her name? Bill Clinton's wife also failed. So I'm like, I'm not trying to give myself strength based on people's failures, but I'm trying to give myself strength on it didn't define them. They failed the years, but they are the women I want to reckon with, right? Then I was reading about the justice of the Supreme Court, Justice Cardozo, who influenced almost all the top decisions in the Supreme Court at that time. He also failed it for the first time. So I'm like, I don't take courage, please. This thing wouldn't define you. So I had to accept the fact that I felt this way, like I am really afraid right now. But I do not want this thing to define me. Go in for the experience. So Eva, one of the first things I had to do was accept that this is the problem I'm having. I am afraid of sitting for this exam, but I know I can, right? I have to focus on the can. Yeah, I can. Instead of focusing on, I don't think I can. Self-doubt, no. So I had to shift my focus. Like in NLP, what we call it is shift the frame. I had to shift the frame. Now, I got to know all these terms and all that when I started researching and taking classes. But before that, I never really knew what they were called. But once you're able to shift the frame, what exactly is the problem? Understand it, accept it, process it, then define what you want this thing to be. Okay?
Great. Eva again says, fear is part of life, just like love is part of life. The thing is, we must choose love and face our fears, knowing that we have what it takes to move forward. If we fail, we learn and keep on moving. Exactly. Exactly. And honestly, in the face of an adversity, fear is just a must. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's just so when someone criticizes the other and say, why are you so afraid of, it is a must. If it's really an
Like,
adversity, and if it was that important
exactly.
to you, if it's
Like,
that
are you
important,
kidding me? Exactly. Look at Jesus going to the cross. Let's not say because he's God, he wasn't afraid. Of course, yeah, the omnipotent cannot be afraid, but as a human person, if he could cry the tears that were almost blood-like, which in science, they said that is the highest threshold of pain when your tear or sweat is mixed with blood. Like, that is the highest threshold of pain anybody can withstand. So we can
withstand.
imagine the level of pain, and this is adversity, and I don't want to do this. I don't want, oh, my sister just joined. I don't want to do this, right? So no matter who you are, when you are human, there's a level of pain and adversity you're going to go through that if you like be be a demigod, there's a level of fear that may come up. Like, can you take this cup away? It's not like I don't want to do it, but do I have to? Right? So it's something we all have to just get used to. It's part
Yeah.
of life. It's not going anywhere.
I mean, we are already used to it. We are already used to it. But what worries me is that we've numbed that feeling.
Hmm.
You know, we jump from the problem, the fear, then the solution. It's like we don't sit with the pain and the discomfort of the fear, so we can make better choices. Because I believe if we really sat with that pain, with that fear in your stomach, for example, I had one big adversity and people kept calling. Certain people that I had not spoken for even for ages, they kept calling. They meant well. They wanted to come. Lillian, we're coming. Lillian, I wish they can we go. Lillian, the phone was just ringing and ringing, and I did not pick up the phone. I did not answer anybody. I said the only person that I'm really going to answer is one who's standing in front of my door. You know, I
So
just
they can
shut
share
down.
in their experience.
I just shut down, and many of them, when I came out of this process, they were really angry with me. Some of them are not even still talking to me. We called you, did not answer. What happened? Why did you not let us know? Why did I? Why? And I just looked at them and I said, you know what? You know what? If you're not in there, you wouldn't know what you are meant to
Yeah.
do. When you're
Yeah.
there, you will know what you are meant to do, and that's what I had
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah. Everybody
That's it.
processes things different. So allow them. If they shut you out, it's fine. You will let them in. When they let you in, you come back. I I really feel I really feel people should understand every other person. I know it's hard to do, but when people shut you out, why do you have to do it with the best intention? Why do you have to think, oh, she did it intentionally, or she did it because maybe she's feeling too big? Oh, I think you have a problem if someone shuts you out and the first thing you conclude is, I don't blame her, I won't talk to her again. Are you kidding me? You don't know what the person is going through. So assume the best intention. When they are ready, you will feel hot, yeah.
Some
If
people
they're
are
your best
still
friends or you're a very good
some
friend
people are still not.
and you try to reach out, they're not.
I think we have an echo. Can you hear me? Watching from sick bed, couldn't miss this. Thank you so much, Esther. We appreciate. Sit with your fear. We are praying for you, but sit with your fear. Yes, some people are still not talking to me, and but that's very okay. Until life is a process. Until we get to a certain point, you will not understand. And trying to explain
It's all right.
is like trying to defend yourself.
You can't. I've learned to try to stop explaining myself because a shut mind is a shut mind. How do you want to open it? Someone is already making up their mind on something. How do you want to unravel that? Like, allow them, they'll come around. If they don't, it's life. You just we move on and continue.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, she says shift the frame. Uh, Thank you so much, Eva. Yeah, just yeah. Sometimes you just have to. For me, I mean, we deal with it differently, but I refuse, to come out and stand there in 2 days and say, "Oh, yeah, well, you can come, you can do this." You can no, no, no. I want to sit with my pain, pinch myself, and talk to myself and
Yeah.
accept what is going on as mine. And honestly, this process has really helped me because I don't have to. When you tell yourself the story, when you make that decision to yourself, when you're honest to yourself, I think people who are on the right wavelength will see and they understand. You don't even need to explain to those people.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. That's very
So when
correct. Yeah. Because yeah, just like when I started talking about fear and how I faced fear preparing for my exam and all that, people who were reaching out were people who understood. Like it's not everybody that will understand. Like you failed an exam, somebody will not hear. Please stop disturbing us. Some people will have that mindset, like, are you the first to fail the exam? Please. But people who understood are those who have been there or those who are trying to struggle, those who I don't even need to explain, they understand. So there's an audience for everything, and there are people designated for every particular event we face in life. So I don't blame people who do not understand all the time. They are not there. So
no,
it's okay not to hold it against them.
exactly, exactly, exactly. So next question: what does a fear strategist do? If I was your client and I was going through a certain kind of fear in my life, what do you do for me? How do you accompany me?
Yeah, so the first thing I'll help you understand is, yeah, we've talked about it all the time. Fear is necessary, sometimes it's healthy, right? And then I want to also make you understand that I'm going to help you to, unravel this and then turn fear into fuel. Fear is no longer that monster. Fear is no longer that demon that you have to feel as if, oh my god, I don't want to feel fear in the name of Jesus. Like, fear can become a propeller. I'm going to help you unravel it, and I'm supposed to help you
It's a
turn
tool.
those fears into strength. So right
Yeah.
now, for me, fear is no longer all that, because I tell people there are positive and negative sides of fear. When it comes to the negative part, it's going to paralyze, it's going to torment you, it's going to do all the awful things to you. But what I can do to help you understand the positive side of fear, because if you do not have fear, you will die on the road, just going to cross the road, you will not look back and front. If you do
Yeah.
not understand, what the amygdala that is doing, we call it the lizard brain. So one thing I help you understand is that it's healthy to have it, but you shouldn't
Yeah.
let it pilot your affairs. You
Yeah.
shouldn't let it take the front seat or the driver's seat. It should be there with you, right? Oh, because your brain has been programmed. Because what I help people understand is that your brain has been programmed to help you not get into trouble.
Yeah.
So it's doing its work. It doesn't want you to go outside your comfort zone. Your subconscious mind understand how you were programmed from childhood. When your brain was in the beta stage, and all those stage of the brain where you just imprint everything that has been given to you, or first to 7 years of your life. So it's hard to actually tell your subconscious mind, oh, this is what you're supposed to do now. Your brain will refuse.
Yeah.
And that is why it would introduces fear. Some fears are learned, right? So what I want to try to help people understand is not so unhealthy to understand that you can actually channel this thing, turn it into fuel, let it become a strength, let it be a propeller. It's not just about, oh, I don't want to feel afraid. Yes, we do not want to feel afraid, but we can't do anything because fear is actually part of the process in life. And when it creeps up, I think most times, because it does not know the difference between the real danger and what is not
Yes.
a real danger. Because
Yes.
the lizard brain, I'm trying to come into a presentation right now, and my lizard brain jumps up. Oh, you should be afraid. And I'm like, oh, that's fine. This fear is not a problem. It's fine. I can handle this,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it just tells me, once I'm doing something outside my comfort zone, oh, right now I should be watching TV or reading a book. This is the comfort zone, I understand. But I'm going
Yeah.
into a show with Lilia, and I haven't met her. I'm going to meet her one day, but this is the first time I'm
Yeah.
going to meet her. My lizard brain is telling me, don't do that. You can't do that. It doesn't distinguish between the real, the real world. Like, it's going to make me freak out. Are you sure she's going to be happy with you? What are you going to do? Like, it's going to
Yes.
give suggestions that will make me feel afraid. But I'm the one who understands that right now, fear is not my driver. Oh, fear, thank you for what you're doing. Thank you very much. But right now, I want you to propel me. I don't need you to, I'm driving this. I understand. This is my creative side and it's coming up. It's fine. It's not a problem. So I have to help make people understand that it's not like he's what some of those worst nightmares you have. It's only when you allow it to drive you. And you're coming to me because you do not want to let it drive you. So we're going to help you channel it the way it should, to turn your greatest fears into strengths, to make it your propeller, to make it something that you understand, and build around the healthy parts, not the negative ones. So in a
Uh,
nutshell, that's like what I will help you.
and you have a gift for all those listening today, which I would let's see here. I would like to put in the comments box, anyone who is interested in a free ebook. You can just click on that link. I've just dropped it in the comment section, and you can download her e-free book, which you can use as a guide. And what you just said right now, it brings me joy, because it's the first time we are meeting. Until we meet in person, then this fear comes up. But if we use that fear, it gives you ideas, because you've just said it yourself. Because what are you afraid of? You're afraid of, this is the first time I'm meeting her. Am I going to be good when I meet her in person? It just led you to something. I need to
Yeah.
be this good, so when we meet in person, you've just made the connection yourself. And that's what fear is all about. It gives you a roadmap.
Thank
But
you.
then before it even starts, we run off.
Exactly. So because we don't know how to process the wrong things fear do and the right things, I'm not saying that fear cannot torment you. Believe me, when it's the negative one, it will paralyze you. I have a story I always tell people. I was going home back in Nigeria. I was just finishing my lectures or something, and I was going home. I lived in my parents' house. Walking home, there's a little path we go through. And instead of going through the
Yes.
main highway, I'm like, let me just take this road. And that road sometimes, snake, it's not really that snake comes out, but it can be lonely and there's some bushes around. So you just have to like fast pace and walk. So I was coming back that afternoon, and as I was moving, let's say 6 feet from me, thereabouts, a snake just crossed and went to the next bush or something. Oh my
Yeah.
God, I froze. Like,
Yeah.
I froze. I couldn't move. That is one of the paralyzing effects of fear. Now, what if
Yeah.
fear stopped me? My father's house was less than 10 feet away, or 12. But I could see my dad's house. I could see where I was going, but fear stopped me. Like, is this snake going to come back and bite me now? What am I going to do? I don't even want to move. I can't even go back. So fear can halt you. You're seeing your dreams, your visions, the things you want to do, the goals, but you're not getting there. Like, I was in my mind saying, well, the fear was so bad. And I don't even like snakes. So the worst thing for me to see is snake. Oh my God. Like, a neighbor came out trying to pass and he's like, Ada, what are you doing there? I just shouted back, I cannot move. He's like,
You
why? I
feel.
said, I just saw a snake. He said, "Ah, the snake has gone since now. Come." It took over 12 minutes. I just stood still. I felt if I move, the snake may come out and bite me. There's nobody here. Your brain is processing a lot of things and it's healthy. It's healthy, and I stood. The fear made me stop, right? So if you take
Yeah.
another step, it may be trouble. Now, that is the good part of it. But the bad part was that I couldn't tell my brain, okay, now you've done your work. Thank you. Can we move on? I allowed it to hold me down, like, right? And that is what I see a lot of people go through. They allow fear. The thing causing the havoc, the thing that's going to cause the pain, is no longer there. But because you're the one in charge of your brain, you're the one to say, come, let's move. If you bite me, we'll call hospital or something. Let's be moving. Sometimes just take the risk. If you don't pilot it yourself, fear will keep you down. The healthy
Yeah.
part of fear becomes negative, and then you start suffering that. So I tell that story all the time because I feel people get stuck. You're at the verge of your breakthrough, you're seeing your house, you're going there, but you can't move because fear is paralyzing you. So
Yeah.
people should not make it look as if I do not understand that there is negative part of fear, but I focus on the positive part of fear, right? I tell people, like in NLP, neuro linguistic practitioner, what we learn is that you're a meaning making machine, a meaning making machine. So whatever meaning you give to things is the life it takes on. If you call it fear, it becomes fear. If things happen, you process it and call it whatever you call it is what it becomes. That
Yeah.
is the natural law. Whatever life you give to something is the life it takes on. So if I understood all this, when I was going through all that, I would have been like, oh shoot, I should have just continued. But my neighbor had to come, take my hand. As I was taking my hand, I started running. I ran to go to my father's gate. You see? so so I have experienced all manner of paralyzing effects of fear. I've experienced, but right now I told myself, no, I'm a mini making machine. If you want like talk good or bad about me, whatever I call it is what it is. So, and I feel it goes back to the Bible where Adam was told, give it a name. Whatever name you give the animals, they bear. So whatever name I give it, Adobe is a meaning making machine. So I
Yeah.
understand the negative parts of fear, but I understand the positive ones, and I choose to align myself to the positive ones.
Exactly. Absolutely agree. Whatever you think of it, so it becomes. I'm really happy that we are able to just use the word fear and say how we are afraid openly.
Right?
Openly. Because if we in the normal traditional African way, when people talk, they talk about the bravery of an incident. I did this, I came this, I did that, I did it, I did. There is no way there is no space where people would say, I was so scared. I was so
Yeah.
scared. I was paralyzed. I was this. But from this experience that passed or this one, I managed to do this. Most of the time, we always say, "I did this. I'm those. I did that. I'm strong. I'm this because my God, because my this." No, there is a physical thing called fear.
Yeah.
It's
Challenge,
happening
exactly.
for
Yeah.
real. You sweat in your hands, in your palms, your legs. It's different for everybody. There is something that really happens, and We African women, no, no, not, that's not that. That's not the one. This is the question. As humans, there comes a point where we are all afraid, like I just said. Right now, it's in our midst. I don't care who you are, president, ministers, kids, we are all afraid of COVID. There is also emotional fear where there's divorce or violence at home, or there's also financial situation where we are afraid. But because of this numbing, we don't see that part of us, the human African, showing their emotions. How do we start facing the fear? I know you spoke about it just before with the incident about your dad's house and the snake. How do we start facing the fear in the first place?
Okay, thank you, Lillian. So, first of all, um, once it's happened, it's happened. Okay, so you're emotionally down. You just had a divorce, and then you're broke. Financial situation.
Yeah.
It has happened, right? I think the problem starts when we try to play around it, trying to pick and select. See, if you're broke, right? I understand the Bible said, let the weak say, I am strong. Like it can cover for all these things, but it did not say let the weak not explain their challenges. It did not say, just like the woman whose daughter or whose son died, and they asked her, she said, it is well. Now, the truth is, I try to bring people be like Ada, but yeah, you can also face challenges, and you just want to say it's well. And I'm saying that is not a problem. It is well, but that does not mean she didn't come with the physical evidence of it was not well. Like people are not reading into the fact that she said it is well. That's affirmation, that's faith, that's where you want to be, call the things that be not as though they were. But she was not hiding the fact that my
It
son
was,
have died.
it was a painful process. Yeah.
Exactly. The physical evidence of, well, it's not so well was in her hand. She was bringing to the prophet. So when you want to go all Christian on fear, I'll be like, okay, fine, I understand this as well. So what is the physical evidence of what you're trying to go through? Oh, they will now break down because why I like, to also use the Bible is that people will know that I'm a Christian and I practice my faith. And when people want to mush it all up, like, oh, you just have to say you're strong, I'm saying, no, 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 don't mistake. If that woman didn't go to the prophet with the evidence of it was not so well, we may say, okay, fine, but she had the evidence. So when you tell me, oh, I'm going through divorce, I'm going through financial situations, I'm going through emotional problem, and I'm asking you as a coach, how can I help you? Tell me, oh, it's well. I'm trying to understand, what do you mean? Like, why are you here? So, right? So tell me, there's no problem with telling me, tell me, let me in. She had to let the prophet see the evidence of, well, I said it's well because I believe and I want to believe that it's going to be alive again. But this is the evidence of why I'm coming here. So the problem is that most times people mush it all up and then they're like, I'm going through this issue, but well, tell me, share it, let us know about it, understand it first. How do you face it? That's the primary question. That's the primary question. Face it, accept it's happened. Is well, yes. Why are you here? Why, don't make it look as if you're more Christian than people who have actually, gone through situations and problems. Even Paul will say, I'm in chains right now in the prison. Like, there's always something they're presenting that they needed to pray for them on. Paul will say, well, always pray for us and all that because persecution is coming. The letters will let you know what the pain point is at that point. So when people come and try to make it look as if you shouldn't face this fear, like bottle it all up, it's not healthy. It's really not healthy. So how do you face it? Sit down, like you always say, sit down with it. Understand that this has happened. It has happened. The next step is, what do I do? What is it teaching me? What actions am I supposed to take? That is like, if people can understand this has happened, they just got into a divorce. It's so painful. Call me, cry, let's cry together. When my friend had a heartbreak, he wasn't even married, but the guy left and married someone else. Oh my God, like I'm that strong, I'm that alpha female. But he broke me because I know how far we've gone. We talk, we pray together, and this guy just did this. Like, let's cry together. Like, don't make it look as if, oh, it's fine. I can handle it. To hell with him. If he broke your heart, he broke your heart. Cry. That's the first part. Face it. Understand that this is
And
painful, right?
just to add,
Face it. I'm broke.
just to add to that, what many people or what many we Africans do not know, I discovered that by chance, is that by keeping all these emotions, it explains why many Africans do have fibroids.
Oh,
Like,
I haven't even gone to the medical part apart from the mental area.
it's
Wow.
deep. It's deep. It is deep.
Hmm.
So trying to be strong and not to bring it out, it's a problem not only to yourself. I think I should find somebody showed it to me and I was shocked. I was really shocked. Then you have to treat all the emotional part, what brought into, of course, there's the hormonal part of it, but the fact that we keep inside, she showed it to me. It was really a research, and I was really shocked. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's the
Wow.
more we can talk about the fear that we have with the people who understand. Of course, you're not going to tell everybody your story
Yeah.
because not
Yeah.
everybody is at the same place as you.
Yeah.
I think then we have more trust. Then we know that the neighbor, that the grass is not green on the other side. You just have to water your own. We know that. We know, but for some reason, because we keep our fear, we think the other people are not afraid. We take them
Yeah.
for examples.
That's exactly. Yeah. That's another
Yeah.
problem. Yeah. Because once you shoot yourself, the next person wants to shoot themselves. Ada, how are you? I'm fine. And you ask the next person, they'll say, I am not me. Like, I don't apologize that you called me and you asked how I am. And I say, I'm not fine. Like, my friend, she's an honorary, she's a nurse in California. And she called me and I was just leaving the doctor's house. I had to go get an EKG because I was having this abnormal arrhythmic breathing. The doctor said I started having that when I was pregnant, right? So my last baby. So when it showed up again, I knew I was over stressing. I'm not pregnant right now, but my body is telling me something. What happened? I had to working from home. You wake up maybe around 9, 10, and then I stay active till 3 a.m. thereabout. I'm writing a book. I'm studying for the bar exam. I'm working so a lot of things. And when my body started warning me, I knew it was time for me to shut down. Okay, you're no longer that young, right? So know the one. So when she called, I'm like, she said, I said, Nasa, I am not well. She's like, what happened? I said, I'm not leaving the EKG, but they said it's fine. But right now, I just feel like I even checked my BP was high. She said, have you ever had BP? I said, I don't. I've never had. Or like my BP is always 70 106 within 79, 106, 69. Like I have the most normal middle. And she's like, okay, maybe the stress. Like I don't apologize for letting you know that it's all right, but right now I'm working on it. Like I told my study group, see, right now I'm taking the whole of July off, you guys. That was 3 weeks ago. I need some break. The kids, as in, I'm awake. I'm studying with them. The last two will not sleep. Like, okay, this is not working. So I no longer feel I must be obliged to tell you how are you. I'll say I'm fine. Oh no, if I'm not fine, I let you know if we have that parole. If I know that you could understand, right? But the average person is always fine. How are you? I'm fine. And I have to prompt like a coach. I'll be like, so are you sure you're fine? Even in the coaching section, how are you? I'm fine. I'm like, when I ask you this question, I want to know how you really are. And that is when they'll be like, oh, okay. Last 2 days, I'm like, you could have just started that way, but I know the programming of the brain is how are
Yeah.
you? I'm fine.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but even
you
if
don't
you,
have
if
to
you, if you
define
look at our dialect, African dialect, yeah, I don't think there is anything which really explains in the dialect that I'm not okay today. Every time you ask somebody
I know.
in your dialect, I'm
Right.
not really good in that. If you ask somebody, the answer is always fine. Show me somewhere where it says I'm not fine today. It doesn't exist
I'm
in
telling
Africa.
you, it's crazy. I'm
It
telling
doesn't
you, like
exist.
everybody's fine all the time. You have to probe to see if. But in this Western world, call someone on the phone. How are you doing today? They're like they may say I'm fine, but the next thing is I'm fine, but I've been having a little bit of as in they must complete. So I'm like, okay, I'm not saying I'm fitless, but right now this is what it is, and I know God got my back. But I'm just sharing it with you, right? It doesn't mean I'm fitless. It doesn't mean I don't know the powerful nature of who I serve, but right now this is what it is, and we're working towards it. So enough of all those, we're all
Yeah,
fine when we don't. Yeah.
it happened to me. One of my friends, she called and she said, "Hi, Lydia, how are you?" And when people call me, they're always like, "Wow!" I'm thinking I'm like always like,
I
oh,
know.
my energy. She called that day. She said, "Oh, how are you?" I said, "Oh, I'm tired." I said, "Oh," and she said, "Oh,"
You're
and I said,
fine?
"I'm
Like,
tired."
you fine? Are you
I
okay?
said, I said, "I'm tired." She said, "You tired?" She said, "I'm on my way." And she
Yeah.
came
Yeah,
because that's not
and
what.
that's good because the moment they know you are that active person and then they call you, you're not sounding well, something is off. And
And
I
she
think
told
I
me
get
I'm
you.
on my way. It took her
Yeah,
20 minutes and the doorbell rang. And when she came, she said, "You're tired? This is not normal. What is going on? What's happening?" Okay, then we chatted.
exactly.
We had a glass of wine, but no, I wasn't fine that day. Don't tell me I was fine that day.
Yeah, we burn out when we don't have stress reliefs. Like, and people don't know the effect of that. When you keep bottling it up and the fears and all the the situations, you are working your way to a burnout. And when you burn out, coming back is going to take you a while. So why not just take care of yourself and accept what is happening so you do not burn out eventually? If I said let me continue studying, continue doing right, like I shut up my book. I'm writing. I should even. I'm going to talk to you about the book now. I had to shut up writing, like I said, let me write in my vision board. I'm like, write for 1 hour, 2 hours every day. So when it started happening, when I saw, oh, I'm really stressing myself out too much. I have a toddler, I have a baby, and oh no, this is too much. I had to shut out everything. Guys, girlfriends, I can't continue studying right now. I need some time out. I'm even not writing anymore. If you do not take it easy, if you feel you can handle it all, and then even if you're expressing now, you are going to burn out. And like we
And
just talked about the medical
I'm sorry
aspect.
to interrupt you, my dear. It's not only the burnout; it's the hate, the hatred that comes with the burden of not being able to say. Then you have people saying, "I gave you my life, and this is how you pay me back," because you did not express that you were afraid of something, that you were tired, that you needed time for yourself. I am guilty of it. I did it. Oh, this strong woman and everything. But now,
Right,
and then they will, you will not, you will blame your children later on, because of you. Could not sleep, I did not do this, I did not do this. No, express. If you're afraid in that moment,
yeah,
I'm afraid. Now with my children, if I feel like crying, they hold my hand, I bust my tears, voila, I'm afraid.
right,
And they
exactly.
know,
Yeah,
and they
so
know they
healthy.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Even at home, like I'm having a headache, I tell my husband, okay, can you take these children? He'll say, okay, just go and rest, lock the room. Like I'm having this meeting, I'm like, can you take these children? Okay, yeah, just lock the room. Like, just find someone who's going to also be able to invest in you and want the best for you. He knows I'm strong. He knows I can do all that. But the
Exactly.
moment I that says my head aches, and my husband's in the medical field, so it's like, go and rest. You're stressing
Yes.
out. So people should learn to open up. I can't cook today. I'm really tired. If he cannot cook and you guys can order the food, like let's learn to take care of ourselves and understand that it's about our body, our sister. I'm not my mom. My mom is a German machine. She can do everything. She does. I did not choose that life. It's not me. I'm not my mom, right? So if you want my mom, go marry my mom. People should understand that I am not afraid to say, like, I won't apologize for telling you that this is what I can do. In all humility, in all, feminine tone and all that, I won't be afraid. Let fear stop making us, because people will talk about all fear does. I know fear also makes us not to accept certain challenges. Like, say it. Don't be afraid to say that I can't do this right now. I know they may label you and all that. Fear may make you, but don't let fear win. Like, no, I can't do this right now. I'm afraid it's going to say that I'm not the woman he married or what. Yeah, let him say. Whatever meaning he gives is what it becomes. Don't attach meaning to that. It's about your safety first. Just say, don't let fear, keep you
Yeah.
bound,
Yeah, because
convince you, make you do
sometimes
things you
people
don't
were afraid if you say it, then maybe the man will leave, or there's so many so different sorts of fear that we really have to explore.
yeah.
So from your experience, are men or are women more afraid than men, or are men more afraid than women? Because I know there's some certain things men will be like, "One more, God."
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Gillian. This question really made me laugh. Like, yes, scientifically, psychologically, data has shown that at a younger age, girls tend to be more afraid than boys, and that's not because girls should be more afraid, but because they have been prepped. Like, I think culturally and in every society, even in the Western world, girls have been prepped to don't go out, don't stay out at night. Make sure you
Yes.
come back by 6. Like my dad had his coffee. If it's 8 o'clock, if you're outside there, you go and sleep. Don't come back into his house. Sleep wherever you are, right? But that's for both girls and guys. But girls are made to be more cautious, domesticated, don't do the hard things. The survey in, I think it was University of California or Ohio, I can't remember, was a research I was reading where the statistic shows that ladies will not hang out at night in the campus. Like they are more susceptible to be afraid of going out after dark and all that. But the guys, they've been prepped to be adventurous. They've been prepped to go, scout for it. So is so it's more like this. Yeah, I saw it coming, but I just want to continue. So psychologically and scientifically, the data shows that because of cultural upbringing, across the world, it's not like particular to just Africa. Women tend to be more scared. But down, like I said, it's not like we don't have alpha females who do a lot of daring things. But just the survey they took out just shows that because of how our brains were programmed
Yeah.
growing up, women tend to be more of the home domestic, while the guys tend to be more of the outgoing. So they rather face a challenge than the guys rather go sit like look watch movies when there's stuffs at home, maybe lizard, cockroach, a bang at the door at night. You push your husband and go and it's just a natural wiring of the brain that the men are alpha masculine, so they tend to um have that courage per se. But now that's just about the physical part. But when we talk about fear, on or who faces fear more, for me personally, and as a coach, I wouldn't say female girls or the female part shows more susceptible to being prone to fear. All of us are prone to fear. All, like everybody, even the guys I've coached, they're afraid of not making a lot of money. Some of them are afraid of not meeting up to society expectations. So their fears, all of everybody fears. But who shows it more? Because the guys have been wired and built to brave, to show that courage, to make it look as if nothing, just give your life for it. And the girls are like, oh, they are naturals, my children. Like the
Yeah.
studies showed that most women, they told close group of people to write about the worst fears they will face, maybe using the fear of death. The guys wrote about their own fear, what their funeral will look like, their own, but the women refused. They like rather wrote on the loss of a mother, father, relative, child. So women have not really been groomed to accept that, or not like they have not been groomed to accept, but they are more of natural who will rather look out for, I don't want anything to happen to my child or my husband. It's just an inner wiring of our brain. And I love it too. Like it's what makes me a woman too. I'm able to nurture, I'm able to care. So it's not as if it's a weakness or something. So, so for me, statistically, it's proven that women tend to be more prone to show that fear because of how we were wired
Okay.
growing up.
Great. This is an amazing conversation, and we have so many live viewers. And I would like to invite anyone who would like to join this live stream, come up here, talk about your fear. I am scared. There are times when I'm really scared, and I want to not pass this legacy of keeping it inside. So I'm sharing the link to the live stream in the comments box. If you would like to join, just click on that link, and you will be on backstage, and I'll bring you on screen. Come tell us about your fear. Do you have the courage to express yourself or to tell people I'm afraid, or do you want to be strong and be known to be that strong person that never breaks down, is never afraid because I'm going to put a snake in your bed tonight? So come join us. Let's see if you're not afraid. So we are here for a few more minutes. Come join us. Let me get some comments. We had Joy who said women should have more me time. That is something I did not know. I learned the hard way. And yes, I have my me time. But there was COVID, so I couldn't. I had every Friday I would do my massage. I have sports time that I do very early in the morning, and I have my massage. And sometimes I also go with my kids, but I really have my time when I go just on my own. But with COVID, it's been hard. What do you have to say about the me time? Self
Oh
care.
my God. Like, are you kidding me right now? I have a girlfriend who would tell me, you've not done your nails. I'm like, I beg, I don't have time. She's like, oh
Me
girl, I'm
too.
gonna
I'm not
come. She's
doing
an
mine.
African
That's true.
American. She'd be like, you're gonna come let's do this. I'm like, these kids, if I do it now, I'm going to still cook, wash. She's like, I don't care. Like, it's something we should imbibe. I wrote an article about the Proverbs 31 woman who I told them, see, she didn't just do it all alone. She had maid servants, right? If you do not have time for yourself, like that woman from What Women's Mom, pictured us to believe, she was a force and a figure. She also did commerce trade. She was like into a merchant ship. So she was both a commerce influencer in the nation, and she's also an economist. Like a lot of things that make me understand that she was an all-rounder, but because she had maid servants, she was able to also have time to actualize some of these dreams. Like if you have to do everything in the home yourself, you will burn out. How do you even have time? You're taking care of the children. I was thinking with my girlfriend the other day, she said, you even have time to read to your children. I say, yeah, we read like a novel every night. I bought one for her. And because I read it with her every night, the next morning she wants to read continue. She said, I don't even have time. I have twins. After taking them showers at night, I even burn out. I just go and sleep. I tell my dear, we can only do much. How much can we do, right? You don't have help. This is America. Everything you pay for nanny to come, you still have to pay. Your mom is not here. So for me, for you to tell yourself thank you for the hard work, like it's so hard. Before I couldn't even think of buying myself
And
a
not
check of
only
$100.
not only in America, not only in the developed world, women in Africa should learn to take care of themselves for themselves. For
Right? I'm
themselves. For
telling you,
themselves.
I told myself, like every birthday, do something good for yourself. If you can't do it every day, that one day that is so special, don't cook. Well, if you have, if your portion is to cook, cook. If not, sit down. Hobby, please, can we eat out today? Like it's like a tradition in my house. No, you guys are taking care of me. Mothers Day, no, you guys are taking care of me, right? As in, let there be something that they do for you, and then do something for yourself. If it's that shirt of $100 that you have been eyeing, and you think, why not get it for yourself? If it's to just go eat out, if it's to just go to the movies, it's not even so much. Like when I look at it and think about it, it's not like it's so much to have that me time. It doesn't cost you a lot. If you have to pay the nanny an extra money to take care of the kids, why you just hang out with your husband or hang out with yourself or with the girlfriends, do it. Like it's
Exactly.
just the memories you create too. So
Yeah.
people should stop, having that stereotype like, oh, I'm married now, a married woman now, I can't do this now, huh? You will die before your
Yeah,
time.
because also that's what our mothers and grandmothers taught us. Now you're married, you belong to your husband. You're your husband. You don't you sit there and do boom boom. Yes, yes, boom boom. That
That's
you
right.
don't. Or now you have children, then you have the next responsibility, one on top of another. Then you as a person, you're just a machine. That should stop. Next
Yeah.
comment. I doubt if girls are more scared than men, rather they show it more. Yeah, yeah. Esther, would you like to come live? I know you're in your sick bed.
Yeah, that's my younger sister I told you about, the mass
Yes,
communicator too.
yes, yes.
So
So
yeah,
it was for the men. We do know you're going out. It's for men. That comment for the men. Yeah.
exactly. Because like I was saying, girls are programmed not to leave at night. So once it's getting so late, it's not that all girls do this, but majority of the girls are
Yeah.
told the night is awful. Don't go out there. So it was more like, for the guys, my mother will call your phone, she'll blow it off. 7:30, you're not home. Hey, I say it's just a wiring, and you don't want to mess up. Even my husband, when he was coming then, he'd be like, Coffee, 8 o'clock, let me go and send you home before your mother will blow my phone off. So it's just the
Yeah, but
programming.
also things has happened that has made people scared. Yeah, that's why I love the two. Let's revamp that cycle life and
The
mindset. I
title.
love this. Yeah,
I think she said that's why I love the title. Let's revamp that recycled life and mindset. I love to see it. Yeah. It's been handed down, generation to generation. I was reading about Terari Trent. So I don't know if you know Terari Trent, a Zimbabwean born woman. So her story was so captivating.
yeah.
Terari
I think
was
I do. I do. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dr. Trent.
Yeah.
She said she came from a life lineage of recycled early marriage. I think she was married out before she was 15, around 11 years old. At 18, she already had 3 or 4 kids. And then poverty, illiteracy. So it was like a recycled life. But she told herself, I don't want this life. Her husband will beat her. He wants to have an education for what? But she persisted. She wanted that. And when the NGO came to the village and then they saw her, what do you want to
Yes.
be? She's like, me, a black woman, have a dream. She didn't answer. The woman was like, yeah, tell me, what do you want to be? She said she opened her mouth. She didn't stop. I want a college degree, a master's, a PhD, affect the world, change the world. Huh?
Yes. Yes.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so for me, African women only stay this way. Like allow men dominate them, allow their voice to be trampled upon and not heard when they haven't awakened that person inside. Like a woman on a mission cannot be stopped. There is nothing you can do except you have not envisioned it. Fear won't even stop you. The universe knows how to bring it together. Because the moment you
Yeah,
think about it, act, knock, search, it must come. So I feel most times we recycle all these things and refuse to break away because we have been shut down for a long time and the awakening has not happened. Dr. Trent was awakened, and I know her book was The Awakened Woman or something. She explored every kind of fear, every kind of ritual, the things that really, were handed over to them. But she refused to take the baton and she just had to stop it. So I believe fear keeps playing on us if we allow it, like, don't let it win. Despite the fear, do it afraid. Just go do it. What's the worst that can happen?
exactly. And whatever is happening to you, if I may add, whatever is happening to you has happened to somebody else.
Yeah. I like people to read books. Read books. It's already there. Whatever you're going through, someone
It
has
has
gone
happened
through
to
it and was
somebody else.
kind
It has
enough
happened to
to put it
somebody
down.
else. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's not like you are the only one that is. So talk to other people. Of course, the problem is having people of confidence that you can talk to. But that comes with time. When you
Yeah.
have the courage, if you're not afraid, because people will disrespect your privacy, people will stab you in the back. It's a price to pay. But the world is full of amazing people who will give you the right advice, the right people in the right context and in the right group. And yeah, don't let that fear hold you back, because it's really something in Africa which we do not talk about. You're beaten up like a pig at night by a husband or in-laws. You don't say a word because you're afraid they will kick you out. And when they kick you out, where do you go? You don't. You don't.
Oh
No.
my God.
Many
Yeah.
people
Talking
have
about
given me.
that. Oh,
Yeah, yeah. So
oh my God.
it's a huge thing. It's
It's
a
just
huge thing.
recycled. Yeah, I just feel sad. Like I will not allow you treat my sister, my brothers, or my brothers treat their wife. You will not try it. Like I made a public show. I said I will beat one of them with you personally. Like, and you will go and answer. Like this is, well, in America is a crime, right? So welfare will come in, but back home the police will be like, "Hey, are you the first one that beat him? Please go home, go to your husband." I mean, it's
Exactly.
crazy.
Exactly.
It's just crazy. Like
Exactly.
I feel sad when they recycle abuse. The woman can't say much, but I just keep wondering, when does it stop? When does the fear, evaporate? Only when you take action. And it's as in
And when not
fear
only you,
will
many
stay there.
people, when many people keep on doing the same thing, it becomes a norm. It becomes a normal. If the commissariat, police station is full of people that do not have the fear anymore to say this is not working for me, then it becomes, then there will be laws, but something has to happen.
Yeah. So it's just to take action. Once you take action, I tell people, fear will remain. That negative one. It will always remain. Only when you take action, that's when it will leave. If you want to
Yeah.
keep going back, recycling abuse, they'll keep beating you. But take action. Now the question is, what action should I take? You know who you're married to. So, look at the odds. What's going to happen and what's what that can happen. But take action. That's all.
Exactly. Then Esther says, you allow your parents that did not cross the four walls of university, same level of closure, to detect your life. Mama. And recycling same nonsense.
Mariana, I told you that this one, like, she has a talk show where she talk about newlywed syndrome, lack of self-worth and all that. Like, she's trying to help reprogram the mindset of, because she's new, she's like 2 or 3 years in marriage. So a lot of things she wants the norm to be broken. You guys stop recycling this thing. If this is how it is, say it to your husband. Like, I'm like, this girl, you're not hearing. So I know she will be like giving a lot of insights here because this is something she has
Come
seen.
up here. She says she's not feeling good today. She would have loved to join next time, next time. But this conversation must continue because exactly as she said, they've not even crossed the four wall of the university. Hey,
Yeah,
man,
most
I
of
want
them.
you to take
Yeah,
it.
yeah, most of them. Yeah,
No,
it's not as if
no,
the advices are not good, but the narratives are changing. Lives are changing. I won't tell you to stay in an abusive relationship because I enjoyed it and I overcame. I tell people When someone told you that her husband beat her or the wife beat him, don't say, stay now and girl is part of. No, you don't know. Your husband may have been kind and soft. The next pushing of the head may kill the young girl. So why tell her, you have to remain there? That's what your father did to me. Your father may have been different. So don't encourage people to stay in places that are not healthy because you survived your own. Theirs may be different. So just tell the person, I won't make decision for you right now, but you know what's best for you, right? You can give hints. You don't want to break someone's home, like you say, but ordinarily, person knows what they want to do. But don't be the one to encourage them to keep
And
recycling the
sometimes,
abuse.
honestly, sometimes I feel it's not coming from an honest place. It's like they want to suffer you to suffer because they've suffered.
They
From
suffer the
experience,
right.
it's not coming from an honest place, because
Like,
if I mean, if I've gone through domestic violence and you put your hand on my daughter,
ah,
okay, 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 now now it's another level of, you know what
oh,
I mean?
exactly. Because I think it comes from what makes you so special. They'll call the name of everybody that that their husband has been beaten. So, are you? Please go back. What makes you so special? So I get what you mean when you say may not come from an honest place where people are telling you, he beat you, and so I the first one to be beat. So because
Yeah,
you're what Queen Darago, please go back. So I get your point
exactly.
where people give that kind
Exactly.
of
It's like
advice.
they're trying to prove a point that they've suffered so much and that you have not seen something. This is what I
Thank
want.
you. They're not. Yeah, you're very right. You just recycle abuse on and off, so it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they want to tell you, well, we all went through the same, you know. Even go to the maternity and see the way they talk to, or you're in pain, and the way they talk to you when you're in labor and everything. It's like, what do you
Wow.
think it was? You know, instead of
Oh my God, Africa. I was telling them that I had my first baby back in Nigeria and it was the best hospital, but you still hear, open your leg, Joe. You want to kill the baby. What's your problem? But I'm like, I'm trying. Then someone come and pet you, okay, it's okay, just take it easy,
yeah.
but hurry up now. But here, hey, you're opening leg, they're like, are you okay? Do you want ice block? What do you want? I'm like, how did I survive giving birth? And then how? So the gap is, I can't even quantify. So I'm like, how are people? But I know there's some hospitals that are now, changing narratives. People are, trying to make. But my friends in Abuja said, the one they did to them, that they even come and slap you. And I'm like, you're in pain. You're like, who cares? It's like the first person to come and give birth. Please push the baby. I'm like, wow. So there are a lot of things that need to change. It's coming from women as well. So I just feel
It's us.
that's
It's
that's
us.
the
It's most of
disparity.
the
Yeah.
times it's us.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
supposed to encourage
Most of the time.
ourselves, help ourselves. Yeah, you've gone through that, so you know what it's like. Don't make it look as if don't belittle it. Don't trivialize it. It's pain, is pain. I'm sorry, but don't be afraid. This is gonna pass,
Oh, no, no,
soon.
no, no. You don't need to convince me. I already told my daughter I will save as much as I can so you can have cesarean. That thing hurts. It's painful.
Are you kidding?
No, 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 no. I've said it. Don't even joke with that. No, for
Funny enough,
me,
I do epidural. I tell people every kind of delivery is okay, as whether it's vagina or cesarean. They're all normal delivery. One is vagina, one is cesarean. I do what they call epidural. Like I'm the Hebrew woman, right? Yeah, and what will enhance my Hebrewness is epidural. Please give it to me. Let's just press phone and I'll be pressing. My mom will be like, "Are you in labor?" I said, yes, now. And she said, "You're calling me, you're chatting." I say, yes. So like, so where's the labor? I'm like, they
we
do
are all
epidural.
different. We are all different. I'm not coming in. That one is a discussion. It's for me. It's a big no. But I've said it. I've said
Yeah,
If you did
everybody
not,
have a choice.
don't blame me. I've said it. We have another
Yeah, it's a
comment.
choice. Everybody can make a choice. Yeah, it's a
It's
choice.
a
Yeah,
choice. Exactly,
it's a
exactly. This
choice.
is what happened. I know. I offer you something which is lighter. I will work that, but just know it's real work here. But
Yeah,
another comment. Let's learn to stand for ourselves. Exactly. It's coming mostly as women. Mostly if we start talking about, we're not letting the men off the hook here, but if we start talking, speaking the truth, then we know.
yeah,
When all women know it's domestic violence, she thinks it's a norm. Oh,
yeah.
yeah. When the woman knows it's not a norm. It's not.
It's not. Yeah, we're trying to
It's
change the
not.
narrative so that people will start seeing that this thing is not right. Don't recycle it because when you stay, you endure. Your daughter goes, and then they forget. Like in my master's degree, I had to read. My thesis was on effects of divorce. So I had to do divorce and then mediation, arbitration. So I was trying to bring in alternative dispute resolution methods into divorce instead of litigation and its acrimonious ways and what it does to children. And when they go to the court, watch their dating outside, their parents are castigating each other and all that. Before the divorce comes. So I was trying to bring in a method where we'll do more mediation, arbitration, and all before the final stage. So I found out that when girls stay there, they actually see what their parents go through.
They
It has a lot
repeat.
of psychological effects on them.
Yeah.
Now, almost said, yeah, when they know it's a mission, they think he's okay, like he's a norm. Yeah, she thinks that, especially the daughter of an abused woman, because what better did she know, right? Like she would not even want. Like I had a friend who had to keep her relationships. Like she doesn't want to be the one. I told her you are doing too much. Like I couldn't even understand it. This guy is misbehaving. You're still trying. She said, I don't want to I just want to make sure it doesn't
Mm.
come from me or something like that. Like her parents were divorced. She
Yeah.
feels her mom could have done better. We're Africans. Even if my dad is messing up, my mom could have, tried to manage it and all that. So for her, she would rather enjoy the beating, enjoy
Yes.
everything, just to make
Yes.
sure. So I just felt like this is not healthy, right?
Yeah.
So I see
Yeah.
people recycle this, and when people remain there, they do not remember or understand what it does to their children. And they fall
Yeah.
in love in the wrong places. Like my research, I found out both closed group and open girls who had to endure this, they were so afraid of saying what they wanted. Like, I don't care. I will tell you, this is my husband said I'm the only one that brought guidelines and conditions for marriage. I said, no, I just told you, I'm so self-aware. I told you what I wanted, right? So some of these girls, fear plays on them so much that they will not, you're messing up, they can't say anything because of the paralyzing effect of what they experienced and how it's impacted them. So fear actually runs across all, trajectory of life, and you can't even remove it from one another because these girls are afraid. If I tell him he may leave me, how do I find someone else who's gonna, accept me and all that? So we just have to learn. Even if you go through that, sit your daughter down. See, my dear, this is wrong. Any man that let's not shy away. I know it's all your father did to me. Please don't tell anybody. No, yes, don't tell anybody, right? You want them not to, bring your marriage outside. But warn your daughter. The day you bring a man who lays their hand on you, even me, what I'll do to you, I'll know if you don't have sense. You do not do that. This is wrong. Like, make them see on all fours that this is absolutely not something that they should, you know, allow to continue. I had a fellow coach, he's an American, who her mom had cancer, not because she should have got cancer, but she was in an abusive relationship with her dad, who, he drank, he smoked, he messed up, he was beaten. The woman became a shadow of herself. She more or less became so depressed. Like even when she was supposed to do her mammogram or all those some of those things, that you normally do to just check up when you are older and all that. She couldn't do any of that. She was just sulking, always in bed, depressed, taking antidepressants. She's just a shadow of herself. So she later died though. When they found out that she had cancer, she was in bed. One of her breasts and all that infected every other place, and then she died. She said she didn't know better. Like she couldn't even when she had a boyfriend, she was even scared to have one because it was the norm. My mom could not ask my dad for money because if she did, he was going to belt her or beat her. So I understood that if I'm to ask a man for money, he may beat me, and that's okay, provided he gives me the money. So the
In fact,
mindset starts
somebody
forming.
has a comment here, which is she might just have never seen or heard anything else better. I think what this person is replying is, when the moms don't tell their children, their daughters the truth, they say go back to the marriage. I think this is what she's referring to, but it also applies in exactly
Yeah,
this case where a daughter repeats the history.
yeah.
So
So I
then,
feel we should stop recycling. The fear should be broken. Like, yeah, some people stay to save face in society. Yeah,
yeah.
I just want to answer a message. Like to her, what's the stigma? Stigma will not kill you. It can dampen your spirit, but the
The
society totally
society
blames
totally
you for
blames
any
you for
failed thing.
in your marriage, and life then makes excuses for the men. And guess who does this? The women. Exactly, exactly. We have to educate people.
Well, yeah, the truth is that whether educated or not, I believe it comes with common sense too.
It's
Like
not that easy. I don't
nobody.
think it's that easy. It's not that easy. When you're trapped in this situation, I can see that it's not that easy to escape.
Yeah,
You
I
really
know.
sometimes.
Yeah, when she said to make exception that it's mostly uneducated women who would make excuses for the men, I want to, yeah, I agree totally, but I'm also saying that it is even a common sense thing where why should uneducated women, if like someone is beating your daughter, don't you have common sense enough to know that it is not right? Right? So I feel like when we say educated or uneducated, like is actually so minute. It's about common sense. Don't beat a child. Don't beat an adult. Beat a child when they are younger. The Bible said, okay, fine, do not spare them and all that, and then correct them in love and all. But an adult, like my mom, can't tell me that it's okay. It's common sense. You can't. So whether you're educated or not, you should have common sense to know that it's wrong to beat someone else. Well, so
Yeah, yeah. This conversation has to continue. This is how we
it's
change.
all about fear. I feel the threshold and the underlying effect here is people are afraid.
Yeah,
It's fear that plays on you. You don't
yeah,
want to face anxiety. You don't want to own it. Yes, I'm divorced. I'm going through emotional issues. I'm going through financial issues. It is a phase. Own it. It's gonna pass. Don't let fear trap you down there, with the torments. What if you say what's gonna happen? It doesn't matter what's gonna happen. Let it happen. Ask yourself, what is the worst that can happen? They're gonna talk about me, right? And
exactly,
then give it two,
exactly.
3 weeks, 4 weeks, like 1 year is gone. You remove like what is the worst? And fear holds us back. Scientifically, they've said that half of the things we even think about, and are afraid of never really come to pass. So you are here so afraid of, what they're going to say. And at the end of the day, nobody even has your time. And then some they may have will be family members. I have my own problems, and I'm here trying to think about what Lillian is going to, like it's crazy how people try to numb themselves and stay in abusive relationships, stay in a fear-prone environment and all that just because of what others will say. No, they can
Yeah.
say it. It's fine. They let them
Yeah,
say
because
it's
it's
fine.
also I mean, that's what the community promotes. It's talking about other people rather than sitting to construct and make things right. And yeah,
Yeah,
it's good to have a culture, but it's outdated. This system is outdated. We have to revamp.
yeah. I'm revamping it. Yeah. And I love the topic too. When I said it on Instagram, my friend, he's a boy, he said, yes, our women need this revamp. As all of you need the revamp. Not just the women.
Bring them
Everyone
here.
needs
Let's
this
talk
revamp.
about it. Let's talk about it. Everybody has to tell me what they've done for themselves this week, from next month, once a week. What are you doing for yourself? Just sit
Yeah.
down. I need a picture. Tag Awif. Tag Awif what you've done for
Oh,
yourself.
yeah,
Yes.
that's good. Yeah.
Tag
Okay.
Awif.
I'm going to promote that too.
Please do.
Yeah. Let
Please
it be a
do.
challenge. Yeah. For women. Yeah. Let it be a challenge so that I think when we start, it becomes a norm. Even if it's once in a month, if you can't keep up with once a week, you see,
Yes.
it does something to your brain.
Yes.
People don't understand how the little things we do affect and rewire our brain, the neurons and all that. So the moment you keep doing something, even if it's once consistently at that time, is a programming. The moment you stop, it's going to remind you because the subconscious mind takes it in and it's always alert. So it's going to tell you, today's supposed to be for spa. What are you doing at home? So it just, that reprogramming has to happen. The more you do
Yes,
it,
yes.
the
And we
rewiring
have to keep
happens.
talking about it. We have to keep, because this is something people don't talk about. So let's do like a monthly live stream. Let's talk about it. Bring one of your
Yeah.
clients here. Bring one of your buddies here. Let's talk about it. Tag
Yeah.
Awif. We need to see what you're doing for yourself each week. Show us your me time, and show us what you're reading. Show us what you're doing for yourself. Show us how you are. I mean, communicating with other women, trying to learn. What stories do you tell your daughters? This conversation must continue.
Yeah. Absolutely. I agree. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. Let's try and continue the conversation. Let's educate women. We are not trying to break homes here. We're not trying to break marriages here. We are
No.
trying to build better wives. And you men, you will prefer your women after this. After they've revamped, you will prefer them. Believe me.
Absolutely. Yeah. I agree. I mean, who
Believe me.
wants to have a woman who wouldn't be able to bring something to the table, who wouldn't be able to have effective communication with people? I had a friend, he went to Harvard and Oxford. All he said was that is, I don't like, I shouldn't be sharing this, but he just said, it's hard finding a wife. I'm like, I beg, what do you mean? Like, that it's not as if there are not girls or women out there, but I have friends who have a lot of things to offer, and when they talk, what is she going to say to them? We're talking about
Yes,
what's happening
yes,
on Wall
yes.
Street,
What
and
kind of
she may not be able to
conversation
make
are you
any
having?
comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, we won't talk about what's happening around the globe. What can they say? I was trying to have a conversation with some of these girls, and I just had to leave. Like I said, oh Lord, I said, wow. So let's start looking for people that went to Harvard for you now. But like, no, that's not the point. That I'm not trying to berate the female folks. I'm just trying to say that we need a lot of work to do. Why not mentor some of them? I said, yeah, we are in the process. I can't mentor everybody, right? But the truth is, I know he has a point too, because
He
culture has also
does.
set it, yeah, as if the woman has to depend on the man. You don't have to just know much. Let your husband pilot the. It's just like the culture has made it look as if even in school, your guy takes you out, he pays the whole bill, you bring your friends. I'm not saying that it's not good to be generous, but there are things that the culture has made women feel entitled to, you know. And then all those other current affairs, they don't even bother. They're like, I don't want to. They're talking about what's happening with the parliament or what's happening in Republican or Democrats or independent. Nothing. They just get. So I understand when they say it's not as if it's just about the men doing that or doing the other one. Women also need to up their games. So, like
Of
you
course, you
said,
have to up
the
level. Yeah.
man, yeah, our men will be very proud and happy to present a woman who will be able to speak audaciously and be able to command that respect and be able to, be a total and whole woman. I know we're resourceful, we're resilient, we do a lot, but when it comes to, having it all, we also have to keep doing the work, keep pushing, keep studying, keep programming our minds, and keep saying no to fear.
I'm happy you brought that up. I have a last conversation that I must share here. I don't know. I can't remember if it's in the UK or it was in Spain. There was a reunion, and the girls wanted to go out, and me, I'm not. I have my bedtime that I'm going to bed. Whatever you do, I have my. And the boys and the girls wanted to go out, and I said, I'm not going. And one guy keeps saying, come on, come go have fun. Young people are going out to have fun. These are your friends, you know them. Come out, we're all going. Let's go. I said, no, I'm not going. They went out. They came back, and the next day I saw some frown faces, and I was like, so how was it? I did not even really ask. I was just smiling because you could see that something went wrong. Then I turned to the one who insisted, come on, go out. We're going out. Oh, young people, what are you staying? You're going to bed. Are you, come on. Are you that old? Come on, let's go. And I said to him, so how was it? And he said, I regretted it. And I said, why? He said, they kept talking, but they talk nonsense. And I said, now you know.
Oh,
If somebody says, I don't want to go out, maybe that's where you should stay.
yeah,
And he
yeah,
said, I think
yeah.
so.
It
I
can
think
be draining actually to stay in an environment where they're just making a lot of noise and
he
nobody's saying
said, he
sensible
said, I
things.
didn't know what to do. I could not run. I could not leave them there, but it will never happen again. Then I said,
Wow.
oh, you learned your lesson. He said they were speaking so loud, so loud. He said, yeah, we're from the same country, but they were so loud. But the most stupid thing is that what the words that came out of their mouth had no value. And I'm like,
Oh,
oh. So we really have
yeah,
to up level our game. We really have to, you know, educate ourselves a little bit more with the people that we. I mean, it says this. There is no guarantee that if people of the same education level meet, that they will speak sense. There is no
yeah.
guarantee because you've got to go that extra mile of what you learned at school.
I agree. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
absolutely correct. Yeah.
So, few comments. Esther says she's going to tag us. You're going to spa, and then she says spending money.
This girl.
She says revamp
Okay.
it. Let the girls know their lives don't revolve around men. Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Living just to be married off. Thank you both for this topic.
But that was what Dr. Trent was saying. He just grew up and then they were begging her the dad to take her to school. She was so brilliant, but she said no. He's the guy that should be trained in school. So she was just born to be married off. So he's an African. I don't know if it's an African thing, but most girls who go through
Yes,
early
yes,
marriages,
yes,
India, even in America, India, a
yes,
lot of
yes.
places, and it's sad. It's
Yeah,
sad.
it is sad.
They should
It
be
is
in the
sad.
classroom. They should be given a pen, not pennies, not marriage and all that. They are young. How did
Yeah.
they even take care of a child? 11 years old.
Yeah.
How did they even think about it? So
Well, let's see how things unfold. Let's prepare for another live stream in the next coming months, and let's bring in other people and let's talk
yeah,
about it. It's a problem not only for us, but it's going to be even worse for the next generation if we don't talk about it.
that's right. Thank you so
Thank you
much,
so much.
William.
Thank you so much for your time, and we'll keep the communication behind the scenes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
So that was it. Thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure spending this 1.5 hour with you. I will be with you again in the next live stream. Comment and please do not forget to join our community. Do not forget to join our community. Time is running out. At one point, we are going to make it a paid community. I don't want to lie to you. Free has an end. Take care. I will be with you in the next live stream. Bye bye.